my name is Miss Jessie and I'm a Youth Services Librarian here at the Clinton-Macomb Public Library. Thank you for joining me for more ABC 1, 2, 3 fun. I am going to be showing you how to put together a couple different activities for that early letter and number recognition geared toward ages 2 to 5. These are great skills to get ready for starting school. I will go through the supply list, which are things that you can commonly find at home, and some substitutions if you don't have these items at home, and each activity separately. So keep watching and we will go through these activities. Okay, our first activity is cup hunt. So this is an early letter recognition game that is super easy to put together and play, and I think any child would enjoy this. What I've used here is a solid cup. You just don't want it to be see-through. You can use any cup or object that, as long as it's not see-through. I have a brightly colored palm here. Again, you can use any object that's gonna fit: a marble, a bouncy ball that will fit under the cup. Just kind of make sure it's a brighter color so it's easy for the child to spot. And then a black Sharpie marker and an address or a sticker that you can write on. And I'm just using the Sharpie to write those letters on the stickers. The letters can be, it's completely preference. I just decided to go A through E to just demonstrate a couple different things you can do with these cups. The main objective is to take the ball and you put it under a cup. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the game where you're searching for the object under the cups. Doesn't matter how difficult you make it, because the purpose is for the child to recognize and call out the letter in order to find the cup. So they will start with the letter or start with a cup, and they have to say the letter in order for you to open the cup. So if they point to this one, what letter? Ask the child, what letter is it? And if they say D, oh, it's not under there. And then we'll say, guess again. And they say this cup. Okay, what letter is that? Oh, there it is. So that's one way you could do it. You could also put the cups in order if you like, and have the child, have the child put the cups in order after you do that. So you can kind of sort of mix them up. Then have the child put the cups in order on their own, depending on how developed their letter recognition is, and then they can sort of call out letters and guess where the palm is. Here we have the supplies for a super fun activity. This is what we will need to make a sprinkle sensory bag. Now, I'm going to use this sensory bag for number recognition, but you can use it for letters, writing, and the supplies are pretty simple things that you most likely have around your home. I have masking tape, which you don't actually have to have, but I will be using for this. Dark marker, black marker, a couple pieces of scrap paper, and some colorful sprinkles. Now, I think it's important to use the ones that are longer. You can use anything, but writing in the bag is a little bit easier with the longer sprinkles. So I'm just going to take this bag. And this is an activity you can do that a child could very easily put together with supervision of a caregiver or grown-up. And you're just going to dump them in this bag. Now, let's see, I'm going to just kind of see how many I need here. It also smells really good. It smells like a kitchen, a bakery in here with these sprinkles. Okay, so that's probably about good. We are just going to kind of spread those out, make sure that it's enough in the bag. Just a little bit more so we cover the whole thing. Let's just dump the whole thing in. All right. So I'm going to try and get some of that air out of there. And then you just kind of want to spread them out. Spread them out as evenly as possible. Okay, so there is our sprinkle sensory bag. It is so colorful and fun. The kids are gonna love dumping the sprinkles in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just write a couple, I'm gonna write a number 3 on here and the letter A. Okay, so these are what the two we're gonna work on, the letter A and the number 3 today. For this is what I'm gonna give or use an example. And so you could start with the number 3 and you're just gonna show that to the child. Here is the number 3, and then say, can you draw that in this bag? And they're just gonna take their finger and they are going to draw the number 3. Super simple. And then you can just very easily put it back how it was. And then you can say, can you draw the letter A in this bag? And the letters seem to be a little bit more difficult, but if you get one motion, and there's the letter A. So like I said, this is super fun. You're working with a number of different senses here. You're learning letters and numbers, recognizing letters and numbers. There's some sensory and motor skills involved. So I think this is a great activity to do with a child. Have them put it together and kind of play around with the sprinkles. And then you can start working on those letters and numbers. Here are the supplies needed for number weaving. Here I have a piece of cardboard. I just trimmed this off of a box that we were recycling. You want it large enough to be able to put several different loops on the project, and I'll show you that later. And so just make sure you're cutting a big enough box to spread the loops out. I have cord here, and I would recommend using something thick. I would say this is probably about a 1/4 to a 1/2 of an inch. The reason for that is it's easier for smaller hands to maneuver through the loops. I have a black marker. It doesn't have to be permanent, just something dark that will show up on the strips of paper. A hot glue gun. So obviously this is an activity that a grown-up will need to put together for the child. Most of our activities, I like to try and incorporate an element where the child has a part in it, but this one's probably going to be more for the grown-up to do just to be safe. And then several strips of multicolor paper. I like to try and make this bright and colorful. Each strip is probably about 2.5 inches in height, and I would say about 8 inches in length. You just want them tall enough to be able to put a large number on there and wide enough to make the loop. Okay, I have already made the loops on this board, but I have not glued them down. So this is actually my second time making this project, because the first time I made the mistake of not putting the loops on the board first. I just started gluing them and then I ran out of room. So this time I decided to just place them on the board so I can make sure that they're exactly where I want them to be, and I had enough room before I glued them, because once you glue them, they're kind of stuck there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just put a dot. And the reason why we're using a glue gun for this instead of a glue stick or something like Elmer's glue is you want them to stay on there pretty well, because you're going to be having a young child looping or weaving the rope through these loops. So you just want to make sure that they're going to be on there pretty good so that it can stand up to a child's putting the rope through it. So this is my last one. You can see I didn't put a whole lot of glue on there. Just a dot is plenty. I was also running out of glue a little bit, so I was hoping it was going to last me. So here is our board now, and you can do this in a variety of different ways. I just decided to do 1 through 10 so that it's this just to give you a basic idea of how this is going to work. And so I know it looks probably upside down right now, but I just want to kind of show you how we're going to do this. You're going to start with 1, and the child is going to loop. It can go in, it can go out, however they want to do it. I'm going to probably just go through this side, and they're just going to keep pulling it through. They might need a little bit of assistance getting the rope all the way through to the bottom, because it's going to be pretty long at first to get make sure it gets through the whole board. But this should take, it could occupy a decent amount of time. And as they're looping through, so you're just going to have them go in order and say, can you start at 1 and go through 10? If a child's just learning numbers, this might require some assistance. You could make this as easy or as difficult as you like. So I'm just going to go through 4 here. As you can see, it's just kind of like a fun puzzle. Here I'm going through 5. You could also do letters instead of numbers. This one's getting a little stuck here. So 5, you could spread them out more. You could have a bigger piece of cardboard if that's how you want to design the puzzle. You could do just a couple numbers or letters. You could spell out words and have the child spell the word if they're at that level of letter recognition and spelling and vocabulary. So we're just going to go through 9 here, and then the last one, 10. And then you could also put a little piece of candy on the board. So once they're finished with the puzzle, it is complete and they have a reward or a sticker. So this is just a really fun activity for a young child. You could start as early as 2 and go up to 5 or 6 years old in just what they're recognizing and learning. Like I said, you could do number recognition, you could do math problems, you could do spelling, you could do letter recognition. So the possibilities are pretty endless with this one. This is a fantastic project to do at home while you are cooking dinner or just looking to keep your young one busy. All you need is a dry erase marker, a piece of paper towel, and a window. And what I did here is I just wrote the letters for my son's name and called out the letters for him to erase, kept him super busy, and he's learning the letters in his name, letter recognition. You could use numbers, the alphabet, super fun activity, easy to find supplies around your house, and a great learning experience for a young child.